Welcome or welcome back to my channel. So this year I've decided to do Veganuary, and so for this week's video these are my 5 favourite recipes that I've tried so far. So let's start off with fajitas. Now the basic ingredients that you're going to need are onions, garlic, pepper, chopped tomatoes, tomato puree, and I also put mushrooms in as well. And then I've got this vegan pesto which is really good. And then I also put in some taco beans, some paprika and some cumin. I've already cooked the onion and the garlic, so next I cook the sweet pepper and mushrooms with some oil, salt and pepper. Next I add in the spices, so the cumin and the paprika. I usually use oregano too, but we were out of this, and to be honest it was just as nice without it. So once you've added the vegan pesto and some tomato puree, just give that a stir. Then you can go ahead and add the taco beans and then the chopped tomatoes. If your sauce is looking a bit watery, then just add some tomato puree to thicken that up a bit. Leave to simmer for 5 to 10 minutes and then serve in some wraps. So next up we've got vegan ribs. Now I know this sounds a bit strange, but I promise you they are really good. Now I take absolutely no credit for these. They were invented by a man called Gaz Oakley and the full recipe is on his website. To find it, just Google avant-garde vegan. Now this recipe is definitely for a day off when you have a lot of free time. There are a lot of ingredients. Now, as I said, the full recipe is on his website, but basically we're going to do the dry ingredients first and then the wet ingredients and then put them together. So for the dry ingredients we've got some vital wheat gluten and some gram flour. You can get these from Amazon or Holland & Barrett or anywhere like that. So for the wet ingredients, we're going to start off by frying some onion and some garlic together with some olive oil. So now it's basically time to add all the wet ingredients together. Now I know this looks absolutely revolting, but trust me, it does work out in the end. Before making these ribs, I'd never heard of liquid smoke, but honestly it works really well. It gives the barbecue flavour. Again, I know it looks grim at this stage, but let's just focus on the end product. Gaz really emphasises how important it is to knead this dough for 10 minutes, and make sure you definitely do it for 10. So now it's time for the barbecue sauce. One thing I will say is don't be put off by the taste at this point. You can really taste the mustard, but once it's cooked, I promise you it won't be like that at all. Next up we have a bean chilli. Now this is a Joe Wicks recipe and it is one of my favourite vegan meals. So Joe Wicks suggests having sweet potato with the bean chilli, but I also have some tortilla crisps with it too. So once you've chopped up your sweet potato, stick it on a baking tray with some oil, salt and pepper, and then stick in the oven for about 20 minutes. In the meantime, we're going to make the bean chilli, and you can't really go far wrong. We've got onions, garlic, pepper, a bit of salt and pepper, and we're going to mix that up first. So we're going to add in a bit of chipotle paste, cumin, and then the chopped tomatoes. And then, most importantly, some kidney beans. This next recipe is a vegan toad in the hole, and again this is by Gaz Oakley, and you can find the full recipe and ingredients on his website. Even when I'm not doing Veganuary, I have these Richmond sausages because they are so good. My dad also liked them and he is usually a meat eater. The recipe is super easy and you basically just need self-raising flour, baking powder and some sort of milk alternative, so for this I use soya milk. If I ever make anything like Yorkshire puddings or toad in the hole, I always put paprika in as well, and it really works. I'd say the texture is more like a scone than a toad in the hole, which is very strange, but it does definitely work. Now, I've definitely left the best until last. This is my favourite vegan meal that I've had. It's a curried vegetable filo pie, and again, it's a Joe Wicks recipe. The recipe is usually vegetarian, not vegan, so I've just made a few changes, like I've used a vegan substitute for butter rather than normal butter. So to start off with, just fry some garlic and some ginger powder in a pan. And then just add some curry powder and some chilli flakes. So then next we're going to add some sweet potato, carrot and parsnips. Then we're going to add some coconut milk and 1 tablespoon of soy sauce and just leave to simmer. Once your veg has softened, then add some kale, and then we're pretty much ready to go in the oven. Then we're going to get ready some filo sheets, but to be honest, I think you could probably do this as like a stew as well without the filo on top. But anyway, for this recipe, you're going to want to scrunch up probably about 4 sheets of filo and then just place on the top. And then just melt a bit of vegan butter replacement in the microwave just for about 30 seconds. Glaze the top of the filo sheets with the melted butter so that the black onion seeds can stick to the butter. Stick it in the oven for probably 20 to 25 minutes and then it is ready to eat, and honestly it is divine. And so those are my 5 favourite vegan recipes that I have tried this Veganuary. I really hope that this video has been useful. If it has, please don't forget to like, comment down below and subscribe.